is Valley News Live at 4.
Good afternoon, everyone. Downpours of rain, thunder, lightning, and wind. Today has had it all. Our Valley News Live storm team has been preparing you for this all week and following the radar all day. Let's get right over to meteorologist Nathan Hopper on this first alert weather day. Nathan?
Yeah, thanks, Stacey. Some much needed rain, even a few funnel clouds in a storm out near Enderlin on this first alert weather day. Again, we were calling for these severe storms all week long. And yes, they are arriving on our doorstep just as we expected here on this Friday evening. So here's what we're seeing at this hour on the severe thunderstorm watch. That does go until 10 p.m. for pretty much our entire area, excluding some counties right along the South Dakota, North Dakota state line. But for everyone across Minnesota, across North Dakota, that goes until 10 p.m. as we expect the conditions to be ripest for some severe thunderstorms. Now let's jump into the radar. A lot going on this radar. A lot of heavy downpours in a few spots, seeing kind of clusters of rainfall here or there, seeing some of that rainfall there down I-94, and a line of storms actually from, say, Lake of the Woods County down through the Bemidji area. Another little baby line right there, just outside of, just in northern Clearwater County, I should say, and then some down into Lakes Country as well. We'll take a close look in here and see exactly where some of these storms are going. So we did have a tornado warning out in Barnes County and Cass County earlier this evening. That expired at 3:30, so not seeing any rotation much with these storms, but still seeing some heavier downpours in those systems as they move north across the I-94 corridor, heading toward Cooperstown, heading toward the Hunter area. But notice how small these are. So a very small area is going to get a lot of rainfall with these. And then out near Fargo, we're watching this one cell near the Kindred area. That does look to be making its way toward the metro, but of course out toward Lakes Country, Stacey, some folks there near Detroit Lakes, Fergus Falls, Pelican Rapids, all seeing some much needed rainfall. So of course, again, that watch goes until 10 p.m. this evening. Of course, we'll break down what to expect for the rest this evening and look ahead to the weekend coming up in a few minutes.
All right, thanks so much, Nathan. And of course, we'll continue to monitor the rain and storm chances throughout the weekend. You can get all the updates right at your fingertips by downloading the VNL weather app on your phone or any smart device. With the extreme drought conditions we've been experiencing, every drop of rain counts. Meteorologist Lisa Green shares a few ideas of what you can do to make the most of the rainfall.
I mean, we have been so dry, and we need a few tips and tricks to keep around as much of this moisture that we're getting today as possible to help our gardens and replenish that moisture in our lawn. So a couple of tricks here. Two main things: ways to collect and save the rain, and then ways to slow it down from leaving your yard. So saving the rain, if you've got a rain barrel, make sure you're checking your gutters and getting those cleaned out. They'll overflow and none of it will end up in your rain barrel because of that. And if you don't have one, this may look silly, but it's a great way to hold water. Place some buckets under your downspouts. That way you can hold on to it for later, maybe next week, to help water your gardens and save your shrubs and trees. And houseplants, this also may sound silly too, but place them outside. They'll help to collect some of that rainwater and slow down that rainwater from washing away. The excess rain from the houseplants will eventually end up in the yard. So that's one way to do it. And speaking of that, we want to slow the flow. Keep that rain in your yard. So cover the bare earth with gravel because, again, I mentioned earlier that the ground is compacted and hard now because of the drought. And so that rain won't permeate it. It's just going to rush right off in some instances. So if you cover it with gravel, that will hold some of the water and will keep that rain from running off quickly. Mulch around your plants. It helps to protect the roots too, but also keeps that moisture in place long after the rain. And a couple of other things as far as that hard topsoil, break it up if you can with a spade. You can even spike your lawn with a pitchfork to make room for that water to be held in with this latest round. And if you don't have time to do this, some of us already experiencing the rain right now, we have more coming this weekend. So some tips maybe you might want to try tomorrow before that next chance for rain on Sunday.
New for you at 4, police are now identifying the man who died after an apparent assault at a Fargo long-term care facility. The victim is 78-year-old Gary Pearson of Fargo. Police were sent to Mapleview Memory Care on 36th Avenue South on August 3rd for a report that Pearson was assaulted by a caregiver. 59-year-old Rachel Cooper was arrested at her home late Wednesday night. She made her first court appearance this afternoon and is now charged with manslaughter. Court documents detail what happened between Cooper and Pearson. You can read those at valleynewslive.com. We also have new information on the quadruple murder trial. We've been following out a man, Dan, the chiropractor and Navy veteran accused of murdering 4 people, has been found guilty on all counts.
As to the offense of murder of Lois Cobb, as charged in count 1 of the information, Guilty. Number 2, as to the offense of murder of William Cobb as charged in count 2 of the information, guilty.
Again, the jury found Chad Isaac guilty on 4 counts of murder, burglary, and other charges. Isaac didn't react when that guilty verdict was read. In the courtroom, family members of the victims broke out in gasps and sobs. The state argued that Isaac entered RJR Maintenance and Management and brutally stabbed and shot 4 employees. Isaac now faces life in prison without parole. President Biden says there will be time to second-guess the way he handled pullout from Afghanistan later. But for now, the U.S. is focused on the mission, getting tens of thousands of Americans and Afghan allies to safety. As Natalie Brand reports, they're still trying to get an accurate count of how many Americans remain in the country as they work to open more locations to process the evacuees.
In his second speech on Afghanistan this week, President Biden said the U.S. will finish its withdrawal after evacuation efforts are complete.
We'll use every resource necessary to carry out the mission at hand and bring to safety American citizens and our Afghan allies.
The scene outside Kabul's international airport remains chaotic. Flights have resumed after an earlier pause when the processing facility in Qatar reached capacity. Among the thousands showing up for evacuation are unaccompanied minors. This video shows a man handing a baby over an airport wall. The U.S. Marine Corps says the baby received medical care and was reunited with the father at the airport.
I don't think any one of us can see these pictures and not feel that pain on a human level.
The administration is working to open new processing facilities in the region, including in Bahrain and Uzbekistan.
The Wall Street Journal published a July 13th memo from diplomats warning the Afghan government could fall after the U.S. troop withdrawal. In it, they also urged the State Department to pull out Americans before U.S. forces were gone.
A bipartisan group of lawmakers who served in the region say the U.S. should not withdraw troops unless certain conditions are met.
We are forcing the situation to be more chaotic, to be more tense, and to be more dangerous and volatile than it needs to be.
The Secretaries of Defense and State held phone briefings on Afghanistan with House and Senate members Friday afternoon. More briefings with lawmakers are scheduled for next week. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
CBS News has learned that during today's briefing with House lawmakers, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said Taliban members have beaten Americans in Kabul, calling it unacceptable. Be sure to find a sober ride if you're heading out tonight. The North Dakota Highway Patrol and Cass County Sheriff's Office are conducting a sobriety checkpoint in Cass County. They're trying to deter impaired drivers and get drunk drivers off the road. The State Patrol says as of August 12th, 20 people have died on North Dakota roads in crashes involving alcohol. Saturation patrols will be conducted in Cass and Ransom counties tonight and tomorrow. Nursing staff from Essentia will also be providing information to drivers about the risks of driving under the influence. 14 to 18-year-olds learned some valuable skills this week to make their time on the road a bit safer. The North Dakota Department of Transportation hosted a one-day safety event in Grand Forks. During Driving Skills for Life, teens drove through a course with various types of distractions. A rollover simulator showed the consequences of not wearing a seatbelt. And they got to experience virtual simulators that focused on impaired and distracted driving. Each scenario allowed the teens to feel or witness the real-life effect their choices can have. The Waban-Ogama White Earth Community Schools just received $366,000 to subsidize internet access for low-income families. The grant from Enbridge will provide a combination of broadband and fiber infrastructure and fund services to help students connect to the internet and thrive in remote learning environments. The district serves more than 700 children pre-K through grade 12. That grant will also help students of the Monoma-Natowash School District. The 5th annual Grand Forks Street Fair is happening right now. Downtown is full of music, food, and celebration. While everyone felt the impacts of the pandemic last summer, the Downtown Development Association says they're excited to get people out and about today. The street fair runs from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. again tomorrow. And the street fair put out this map to help people plan out where to park if you head downtown. Those green boxes show the public parking lots. Orange is 2-hour street parking, and the red indicates where you can't park. South 3rd Street from Demers to Kitson Avenue is closed, as well as Kitson to South 4th and South 4th to Demers. The closures are in place through 9 o'clock tomorrow night. North Dakota State University students are set to come back to campus tomorrow. Residence Life staff say They're looking forward to welcoming a new class of bison. They'll help unload belongings and carry it up to the dorms. They're asking you not to leave your car unattended when unloading. Move-in day will not only get students placed in their new room, but also connect them with new friends and resources for the school year.
We're so excited. You know, summertime we certainly have a number of guests and we do our orientation and stuff, but there's nothing like opening day when you actually see all the smiling faces of our incoming students as well as all of those returning students that we connected with in previous years. So
Move-in day is from 8 in the morning until 1 in the afternoon tomorrow. For a full list of Welcome Week activities at NDSU and MSUM, just head over to our website, valleynewslive.com, and click on this story. This weekend is the big Cowboy Up Ride Against Cancer in McLeod, North Dakota. The trail ride starts at 10 o'clock in the morning. All proceeds from the event benefit the Roger Maris Cancer Center. It's not just about the trail ride. Cancer survivors will receive their survivor shirts at the end of the event, and there's a full schedule of events planned starting today, including live and silent auctions, a street dance, lots of food and games for kids and families. You can find that full schedule right on valleynewslive.com. Still ahead, the latest on a major data breach for a cell phone service provider.
And keeping our eyes glued to that radar to keep you ahead of the storms, the low pressure system that we're watching causing all these storms out near the Bismarck area. Of course, I'll break down what these storms mean for you and get a tour of when you could possibly see some showers, and a tornado warning just popped up. We'll have the details on that for you after the break.